Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to source for all things Rocket League, with your hosts, K-Cube, Quilly, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
People can hear and see us now. They could briefly see Quilly for about half of a second because I accidentally clicked out of studio mode, but no one saw that. No one saw that.
No one saw nothing.
Nothing.
Nobody saw it. It's fine. Everything's fine. But, man, we have so many things to talk about.
Good God.
But also we have to spread some of them out because we have 4 months until RLCS 3s happen again.
Don't worry, RLCS 2s, baby.
It's this weekend, and 2 of the 3 of us are playing in it.
Yep. Starts June 5th for us.
Also, here's the real
Ed, we gotta get on the game, man.
Probably, yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm lying downstairs. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Quilly.
I was locked in. Let me pull up. I was counting, dude.
Oh, no, we're good. Quilly,
I'm locked.
do you
What's
think, before we start, do you think UE6 is enough to get Red back on the game?
Whoa. That shit ain't coming out till fucking the next election.
Damn.
There is theories since Epic owns the Unreal Engine that it may come out earlier. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll talk about it, but
What if at Worlds are like, all right, go play it? You know, what if France is just announcing it and the Dickies are like, hey, go play it, it's out.
that'd be crazy.
We could pray.
But are we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah. Well, hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Listeners new and old, hello, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube in the top left. In the top right, we have Quilly, and in the bottom, we have Oof. You may know him. He was streaming with us this weekend, watching some RLCS, but making his main show debut. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
If he says anything crazy or silly, we don't know him.
Yeah, don't worry about it. The only thing I'll say is I got a bit of EU slander because I'm a Mina fan, of course. But us, you guys, NA boys have that quite in common at the moment. So I think we'll get into that today.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. But
as a Seiko enjoyer, I'm eating good.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Well. But like we mentioned earlier, we got a lot to talk about today. Today is our Paris Major recap. We'll begin by talking about the Unreal elephant in the room. UE6 was announced with Rocket League as the vehicle for that, so we'll give our first thoughts before jumping into everything Paris Major, the groups, the playoffs, the crowd, our thoughts, predictions, and much more before ending off with our weekly Quilly question. So without further ado, I think we have to talk about Unreal Engine, although we're not going to talk about it super in depth. I think that's going to be its own episode once we can do a little bit more research and once a little bit more information comes out about it. But like I mentioned earlier, we have 3.5 months until Worlds, so we got some time. But first and foremost, we're so back. We're skipping UE5 straight to UE6. What we know so far that UE6 is supposedly supposed to have its own launcher, like the Epic launcher, but a little bit different. Its expected release timeline seems to be the end of 2027, though things can change. There's still a lot of unknowns and a lot of things up in the air. And the biggest and most important thing, at least for me from this, was that Unreal Engine 6 was announced using Rocket League. No one has seen Unreal Engine 6 before. People had been, it's been rumored that it was in the works, but no one had seen anything about it. This was the first ever glimpse into UE6, and they used Rocket League to do so. So to me, this means ongoing support, the continuation of RLCS, the fact that they want this to be a AAA title, etc. So, I'll open the floor up. What do you guys think about the announcement? What was your reaction to it, and how are you feeling?
Well, as you said, we are definitely so back. I mean, the fact that Epic chose Rocket League over their money-making machine Fortnite as their flagship game for UE6 is monumental. It is absolutely huge, and I think a lot of people aren't really seeing that yet.
Quilly, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, no, as you said, like the fact that they used Rocket League as the way to show this is it's so insane. Like like you guys said it perfectly. That like Fortnite is their big game. It's their moneymaker. Literally, Fortnite Mobile alone pulls in billions of dollars in a month. So the fact that we get to be the catalyst of the UE6 announcement is beyond insane. Because UE6 wasn't even all everyone says it better be UE5. It better be UE5. It better be UE5. And they said, hey, we're gonna jump the goddamn shark.
Hold my beer.
We're gonna jump 3 sharks. Yeah, like that. Like they went insane with this. So it was pretty awesome. So it helps with the worries that like maybe Rocket League's on its way out, or they don't care about it. I think this solidifies that not that they don't care about it, that it is going to maybe take a second leap with this new update.
And so a couple of notable things about the release of UE6. Onapixel was one of the co-streamers along with Jinxie, and he was sitting there during the announcement, Rocket League 2, Rocket League 2, Rocket League 2, and he's like, yes, Rocket League 2, but I just picked up the first one.
I just started the first one.
So, but a big win for Rocket League to have Onapixel and Jinxie both streaming those. A big win for Jinxie to have his own, title and topper and decal in the game. That's something else that we'll talk about probably next week. But, the last thing I want to bring up on UE6 so that we can kind of save it for its own topic. Tryhouse tweeted that if the announcement wasn't UE5, that he would get a tattoo of the Rocket League logo on his balls. The announcement was not UE5. It's a bit of a technicality, but I feel like he might have to do it.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta hold up your end of the deal, especially with the added detail that his wife is a tattoo artist.
She's a nurse and she owns her own tattoo gun. And he was like, Jen, really? Please.
You can't really debate with that one.
Yeah, but I mean, more of a lore drop for some of our newer audience. We have interviewed both Tryhouse and his wife Jen on the podcast, and Jen's episode still has more views than Tryhouse.
Can we get the live tattooing on our show? That's the real question at hand.
Oh God.
I did say they just recently had a kid, and I said the next kid's going to come out with the Rocket League logo on their forehead by proxy of the incompleted possibly.
I mean, listen, Twitch's standards are getting slipper and slipper by the day, so who knows?
What a time. So, like I said, we're so back, but we're so back for another week, because this week we have the Paris Major. And my goodness, did we have some games. So
absolute cinema.
I figure we'll do the group stage first. We're going to go group by group, talk about, not exactly the matches, or not exactly the records and everything, but, the teams where they placed in their groups, and like kind of our thoughts as we work through this. So let's start out in Group A. We have Carmine Core going 3-0, Vitality going 2-1, Foot going 1-2, and Wildcard going 0-3. So first and foremost, Wildcard power tiebreaker for Worlds. As Gibbs said, it's a mini LCQ, but just for 2 teams. That tiebreaker has not happened, or like hasn't been set yet to my knowledge. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is there. I mean, they have to get all of the teams have, like, Wildcard has to get back to the region first. So I'm not sure what their plans are for that. I don't know if they're... So they have those... Actually, you know what? date has not been determined yet. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Is it happening right now?
No.
What? No.
We're gonna turn to a live watch party.
No. Rocket League OCE is offline. Okay, because I looked at it and it said May 26th, 2026. I'm like, that's today. That's right now. But yeah. So their location date to be announced. So it has not been announced yet, but that will be a single best of 7 match. The winner qualifies for the World Championship. The loser does not get to go anywhere. So that's certainly exciting to see. But unfortunately for Wildcard, it comes at the expense of Wildcard not winning a match. So, Quilly, what did you think about Carmine taking down Vitality here in groups?
In groups, that was actually in my bracket. I had a really good bracket, not gonna lie. I had some of the crazy snipes. Is calling KC over Vitality crazy snipe? Debatable. But I'm taking it as one.
I mean, at the beginning of the event, I would have said it was.
Yeah, because Vitality was on the heater of the century, and it didn't seem like anything was going to be stopping that. But KC did, in fact, stop that. It only went to game 4 in the best of 5. So I wish it was a little bit more interesting, but all the games were close, except for the last one. That was a 6-0 shutout. But outside of that, they were close and competitive games. And yeah, it's groups, so I think Wildcard from the start. It was either Wildcard or Foot that were going to be the obvious ones not making it out. I mean, even Foot's going to be a good team to talk about.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Oof, what did you think about Foot? And they didn't necessarily have a winning record in terms of series score, but they went 7-7 in the group stage. What did you think about Foot's performance?
I mean, I can't remember who tweeted it out. I think it was one of the casters. They were 2 games from being 3-0 in their group. Like 2 games away from being completely undefeated. And that's all they needed to do. I think this team is good. They have the pieces that they seem to need now to beat these good and competitive teams. They just got to win the last game. I don't know what it is with, especially on with this land. They just could not close out a series to save their lives.
Yeah, so they got reverse swept first round by KC. They beat Wildcard in round 2, and in round 3, they trade games with Vitality and go down in game 5 overtime as well. 4 of those games in that Vitality series went to overtime, though, so that incredibly close series. But yeah, we've on the show, and you've been around in chat. I know that you've heard us talk about it, but like whoever at Foot made the decision to do the double switch to drop all their RLCS points to pick up the roster that they have needs a round of applause and all of the praise, because that seems to be the biggest big brain move of all time. Because if not Foot, who's winning that LCQ and NA? I don't see a team that's going to challenge them there.
I really don't either. As long as they can, again, close out series in the end, I think they're going to smash through the LCQ.
Because I mean, Gen G lost Rise, so who does Gen G pick up, right? Like I think that the Life Noli Mech trio has broken up a little bit, so maybe you can grab one of them. But I struggle to think who is going to give Foot a run for their money for that LCQ spot. At this point it almost seems like destined to be theirs.
Yeah, for sure.
But moving over into Group B, we have Man City going 3-0, NRG going 2-1, MIBR going 1-2, and Five Fears going 0-3. Like we mentioned before, like we talked about in our preview episode, Five Fears go 0-9. Not really a big surprise there. They did lead in a couple of games, so that's big for them. Some good growth from there, but not able to put much of a dent there. But Oof, how good was Man City in this group, only dropping 1 game to MIBR?
I mean, they just smashed through every team that they played. Like they're the only team to take a game off of them ended up actually being MIBR.
And it's the first game they won 1-0.
Yeah, exactly. They lost one game in the first group and then didn't lose until the playoffs. They didn't lose a game until playoff times. So that what an incredible run. And it wasn't like, oh, Seiko is carrying this team in the groups. Edgeby really stepped up as a striker throughout the series, especially against the NRG series.
So I was just doing some mathing. Man City gave up 8 goals in the entirety of the group stage, 8 total, and they put up 10, 13, 15, 16, 18, 21. That NRG series, NRG scored 2 goals in game 1, and then they did not score the rest of the series.
Yeah, that's just insane.
So
to hold North Americans 1 seed to 2 goals in a series is just insane.
Spoiler for the future: GK has blown up, and they deserve it because trading Seiko was clearly the downfall of this team, and now they have no one.
Yeah. But I mean, we were on the like, is it going to be Man City? Is it going to be NRG? 3-4 we kind of saw from a mile away in this group. So, we'll talk about it in playoffs, just how important that first spot in the group was for the pathing of everybody. But moving into Group C, we have Shopify Rebellion going 3-0, Twisted Minds going 2-1, Ninjas in Pajamas going 1-2, and TSM going 0-3. But notably, TSM goes to 5 with Shopify, and were competitive in almost every game they played, which is awesome to see. So they took 2 off of Shopify, they took 1 off of Twisted, and they got swept by Ninjas. But a great showing from TSM shows, positive growth, at least for me. But Oof, what did you think about Twisted's group's run here?
I mean, the only loss we took, and I think it honestly was a bad loss, was the Shopify. It was the Shopify game. There were some games where we were playing really well, and it looked like we were just going to walk right through it. But then there are also other games where we didn't look like we were a cohesive team at all. Like they didn't look like they played together at all, didn't warm up at all. So I think this was actually very important for them to take this loss early, so that later on that they can, learn from the mistakes that they made in that series. Because as you can see in the rest of the groups, I think they learned their lesson a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean
we'll talk about it later on.
That was the first series of the day for them against Shopify. They win. They win game 2 5-0, and I'm like, oh, they got to figure it out. But then they traded games again and ended up losing. But a close series, and then they're able to stomp Ninjas, and then kind of make quick work of TSM. So it worked. It all worked out for them. But I have to hand it over to Mr. Shop himself. That's not CJ. Cooley, what did you think about the group's performance, and what did you think about them heading into playoffs?
I mean, in terms of groups alone, what a performance. 9-4. Which is, I will say, it is the worst out of all of the 1 seeds by at least 1. K-Corp won 9-3, Man City won 9-1, and we'll talk about Gentleman's didn't lose. But the Shop, yeah.
I think we also said this was the hardest group, though, too.
Yeah, that is also a more than fair point, that this was by far the most well-stacked and probably fair one outside of maybe arguably A. And after this, honestly, maybe even D, but that one's confusing. But yeah, this one going into it was definitely the most stacked, and for them to come out on top, though they did have to go to 5 with both Twisted and TSM, they swept NIP. They had to go to 5 with TSM, the only one to allow that, as NIP swept them and Twisted only dropped 1, which is it's rather confusing. But yeah, it's a team that they're either playing above or better than their opponent, or like complete and utter buns, and there's no in between, unfortunately. So finding that in between is what they need to work on. But yeah, to get 3-0 out of this with all the pressure on them was huge. But again, it's also first killer on not Sunday, so it's a different beast. He performs well when it's not Sunday.
Fair.
No. What happened to NIP?
I was going to say that. I had Oli as one of my potential standout players, and I think that they never really found their groove, right? They come out and they dispatched TSM rather handedly, outscoring them 13-6, and then they kind of lost steam, right? They got pounded by Twisted, and then they got swept by Shopify. So, after that first series, they didn't win again. So
Yep.
That's a tough look, and I just think that they never really got their mojo back after going 0-6 in rounds 2 and 3. But man,
yeah, for sure.
And we'll talk about it more once we get to playoffs. But they're you could tell there's the teams that looked good and there's the teams that really did not. But
yeah,
maybe for me, one of the most confusing results of the tournament is going to be this Group D. Genomates going 3-0, perfect through groups to no one's surprise. Space Station going 2-1. Furia coming in third at 1-2, and R8 going 0-3 and dropping out. R8 goes to Game 5 with Furia and ultimately loses, and that was for the last group spot for a chance at playoffs, and R8 are not able to get it done. Space Station did what they needed to do. They beat R8, they beat Furia both in 4. So it was clearly Gentlemates, then Space Station, and then Furia and R8. And on this day, Furia had the advantage. So, Oof, what did you think about R8's performance? And what they were power ranked so high coming into the event by CJ and by Johnny. So what do you think? Do you think that high expectations played any kind of role in their fourth place Group D finish?
Yeah, I think they did have a lot of expectations sitting on their back. And the problem is when you're going into your first LAN, especially when you're 16-year-old Muhammad, whose first LAN was in Worlds. They did go to Worlds, but they got swept pretty quickly out by, again, this Furia team. And I was saying this all during the watch party. This team really reminds me of old Falcons, with Ahmad, Khaled, and TRK Falcons, where they're just going to double commit every single time. And the third man is going to pray, either get a 50 or miss, and it's a goal on them. I'm pretty sure if I did my math correctly here, if R8 were able to close out the games that they were leading in, that they scored first in, they would be in second, competing for first in their group.
Yeah.
If my mom had wheels, she'd be a car.
But she isn't. But she doesn't. So she's not.
Exactly, and it's they were one game away from taking the third spot in the group and just could not lock Furia down in that last series. It was kind of sad to watch, unfortunately. I think they'll come back better. To be honest with you, I don't know, because who knows if this shakes them going into the LCQ, and there's more than just R8 competing for that spot. Stallions could reach for that spot. DOS could reach for that spot. So it'll be interesting to see how that carries their momentum.
For sure. And I mean, I put it in one of our chats, where we put ideas for the show, and I kind of, and this was during Game 2 of that R8 Furia series, and I kind of put show ideas. What does Sam do? Furia seem to be going backwards, and Apex seems to be passing them maybe. And then Furia went through and did what they did. So I don't necessarily know if I can say that right now. I don't know if that's a conversation for right now. It certainly seemed up to this event that Furia were solidly second seed in Sam. They had been surpassed by a lot of people, but it was a great finish off for a series for them. They reverse swept R8, and we'll talk about them here again in a second. But a great overall event for Furia compared to what they've been doing in the past. So, Quilly, before we finish off our group stage, what did you think about Space Station's group's run, and how do you think that they performed?
I mean, it's another confusing one because obviously they make quick work of the young bloods in R8, and then the old guard in Furia. They go to 4 with both of them, which is a rather okay, if not not the worst performance. Preferring a sweep over R8 as they were struggling hard, but. They only let 1 to each of them, which isn't too bad. So they look pretty good there. But swept.
Both of their losses were overtime losses.
Yeah, so at least like a little bit of a silver lining. And 2 of their 3 games were in the sweep against mates. Were 1-goal games. The first one being overtime, maybe a little bit deflating for them. And then a 1-0 shutout, and then a 4-0 shutout. So they scored 1 goal against Gentlemates. No way you can shake that. That's not good. They got swept and scored 1 singular goal. That's not going to cut it, on the big stage, especially against a team coming off of a Boston Land win. You gotta show a little bit more fight, a little bit more of a threat to be considered a worthy adversary, and that they didn't. Luckily, they got a rather weak group. It could have been way worse, depending on where they landed, but I still think regardless of whichever bracket or whichever group they go in, they still make it out. But their performance definitely left some to be desired. Though the Fury win, as what we'll talk about earlier, can we count it as a good win based off what happens in the future? I don't know. Fury is one confusing goddamn team.
They certainly are, and with that, let's move over to playoffs. Let's talk about Furia again, and that is because in lower round 1, Furia take down NRG 4-2. I'll kind of go through the lower round 1 results first before we start to talk about all of them as a whole. But Twisted Minds take down Foot in 5, Vitality sweep Ninjas in Pajamas, and Space Station Gaming are able to take down Made in Brazil in 6, 4-2. So, what probably should have been both SAM teams falling in top 12, Furia are able to send NRG home on Friday. Let me repeat that. On Friday of an event for their worst finish on LAN as a trio ever.
Yeah. That statistic is insane to show how consistent these guys have been. And just show how much of this how much of a slip up is for them. It's just, I don't really know what happened to them in this series. They just did not look alive.
They couldn't score. In games 2 and 3, they scored 1 goal. They scored 1 goal in game 3. They scored 1 goal in game 6. It's they were double and triple committing on things that normally they don't. I feel like in the past, in events where you've seen NRG perform not great, they're still able to scrape and claw on solo individual ability, basically, and solo plays to at least scrape into the top 6 or top 4, right? And it's generally their talent alone is good enough to get them that far. But in this case, I don't know if it was Yan peaking or Lost having the series of his life, but a big win for Furia. A kind of statement hey, we're not fully gone, right? But we can still do some stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can we talk about how sick that goal was by Daniel?
That was sick.
I was about to say,
come on.
Daniel was about the only one that was pulling off those solo plays.
It was only one. I'm not going to go that far to say that he played well. That was the only thing he did that I can remember.
He's happy with his performance.
He's happy, yeah. If he tweeted that, dude, and maybe that would have been setting up a win because last one to tweet that, obviously, had better luck this go around.
Yeah. So, next, Twisted kind of turning it on against Foot, and they win 4-1. I will say though, despite the top 12 result, I was very impressed by Foot. It was really only the game 7 where they couldn't score, and game 6 or game 5. Sorry, game 4 and game 5 that kind of got out of hand for them, but they were pretty close in all of those series. I thought that they looked good. I thought that the team was gelling. There's a couple more things that they could be doing to try and take home these series, but a good showing from Foot.
I mean, I gotta give huge props to Justin. Like, how is he still able to keep up with the same speed that he's had for all these years? Now, you may think, because that was his biggest. I think that's his biggest criticism is he able to keep up with the modern pace of Rocket League? The answer is yes, and I have seen nothing so far on this new Foot team to say that he is washed at all.
No,
There are some things.
I thought he was.
There are definitely some things. Yeah, I agree. I think all around, just when he came back rotationally in defense, making saves, and also scoring. This man in 2026 is still scoring and like trying flip resets, double flip resets off the wall. I'm not used to Justin doing that. You know what I mean?
And I'll preempt it a little bit here. And if you tune into the stream, you would know the terminology already. You'd know the lingo. But Quilly, you wanna hit us up with why NA is a fruit region?
Oh, it's because cheese has the defensive capabilities that of a grape. Was my definition. I don't know if it's their philosophy or what, but that son of a bitch should not rotate ever. I don't think he ever crossed the 3/4 line back to his side at all. I think I don't know if their game plan is just, hey, Chronic and Justin, defend the goal with your life and then pray for a crazy bang out that Cheese is going to redirect. That seemed to be the philosophy. Maybe it worked against NRG, and that's how they got this far, but it did not work against Twisted. And then even when he did go back to defense, I just feel like Cheese was so lost, or he'd just be driving upfield in the middle of a defensive possession, praying on a bang out. And it just wasn't happening. Like, at some point, he's got to circle back to defense. And yeah, so I've seen Grapes play better defense. And yeah, that led to the new terminology. Cheese and grapes, they go well together. So it makes sense.
Yeah. So if we refer to Grape, someone turning into a grape, it means the defense was bad. So moving forward, because that could be, applied to a couple other teams moving forward through this, but Vitality sweep Ninjas, not much to say there. Vitality looked incredible until they didn't. But we'll talk about that more as we move further into this. And then Space Station over Made in Brazil took care of business. Some close games in there, but for the most part, I felt like Space Station was the better team.
Yeah, I wish it didn't go to 6. That's a little bit too much respect. Obviously, we all love the Bull, fan favorite, at least in this neck of the woods. But yeah, to give up 2 games to the Sam 2 seed when Sam is in its like biggest drought ever. Was that the first game of the day?
Yes. Yeah, but they also lost game 2 1-0, and game 3 was a 2-1 overtime loss. So like it was close. It could have been a sweep, but it wasn't. So
the boys are just showing their inability to like just be dominant on LAN, and that is going to continue to be the biggest struggle. It has been, at least for the Zach reveal. But also, I will say, this is Zach's first time back on LAN since Worlds. So obviously, Boston Major, they had Chronic on the team, so Zach was not back yet. So maybe a little bit of getting the nerves out. So the fact that they're still getting all the wins, they still came out of their group in second place, with Mates being one of their opponents, and then still getting that first round win. If they went out first round like NRG, God, we would have been in such a horrible state.
Hey, I mean, this was Zach's first LAN.
If we lost to the Fury, true, it is Zach's first one.
Yeah, sure.
If we lost an NA 1 and 2 seed, or 1 and 3 seed, SSU was
3 seed.
No, I think were they the 3?
I can double check.
No, they're the 2 seed.
Continue your point. Continue your point.
Yeah, Shop was 3. But if the 1 and 2 seed in NA lost to the 1 and 2 seed in SANT, here they are. NA2, Space Station Gaming. Look right below it, seeding.
I was looking at the full rankings. That's on me.
Yeah.
On me. Yep.
This event specifically, they were NA2. So if NA1 and NA2 lost the same 1 and 2, the most up in the air, like no confidence in a 2-team region, that would have been horrible for the brand. NA's
It
already
still
in
was
shambles as
horrible
it
for
is.
the brand.
It already, yeah, it's already in the shitter.
We had already seen
Almost
near
as much as it
airport
can be.
tweets at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, literally. Oral Esports main Twitter was tweeting the NA near airport sloppy pasta, tweeting that out during the day. God, that sucks. But yeah, the fact that they at least didn't lose didn't hurt as much. If they lost this series, God, NA would have been. There would have been a discussion that NA might need to lose their 4th spot. I think the fact that they at least got the win here, that's only saving grace right now. But
and it's tough because like Foot looked so good. They just were outclassed, but they looked really good.
Foot opponents that they lost to, like their strength of schedule is fucking unmatched. They lost the only 3 teams they lost to. 2 of them were in the grand finals.
They lost to 3 of the 4. They lost to 3 of the 4 semifinalists.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like that, and yeah, Twisted Minds and K-Corp and Vitality. Like that. That's their only 3 losses.
They lost to the grand finals and Vitality.
Yeah, and they took 2, and they took them to 5 in groups. So it's such a confusing performance, but unfortunately, them going out in 5 stinks. But yeah, their strength of schedule is just unfair. But yes, yeah, Space Station just barely scraped by, and that's all. That's what they needed, more dominance. I think they gave them no confidence going into lower bracket round 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like if you swap, it would never have happened, right? But if you swap NRG and Foot, I think there's a reason to say that they might top that group.
If they keep performing like that.
You think they beat Man City?
The way that they were playing, I think that they would have had a better chance. They at least would not have gotten swept. They at least would not have gotten swept. But again, moving forward into our top eight matchups in the lower bracket round 2, we have Twisted Minds taking out Furia 4-2, and we have Vitality stomping Space Station 4-1 to knock out our second and third NA team. So
yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah.
I won't lie though. When Fury was leading 2-0, and before Sad Jr. took that timeout, I copied the copy pasta from the North American slander and made a Mina one just in case. Won't lie, I was a little scared. Seeing us down 2, Fury had already beaten a Mina team, but I don't know what Sad Jr. says during timeouts, but he needs to say it before the game and directly to Monkey Moon. Because I don't know what flip switches in his head, but all of a sudden the rotations are way better and Monkey Moon is all over the place.
I mean, we have talked about it plenty of times in the past. Monkey Moon is the Grand Canyon. He is either high plateauing, or the highs are so high, but the lows are so low. Like the only other player who we've talked about in the past that being similar to Monkey Moon is Noli.
Yeah.
Noli is hitting a flip reset double tap, or Noli is missing the ball. Like Monkey Moon is not quite that, but like the mental for Monkey Moon is he's either, and I for the audio only listeners, I apologize because you're going to hear my voice really clear and then you're not for a minute, but like, he's talking right into the microphone. He's like leaning right up, and then all of a sudden he's leaning so far back in his chair that you can barely see the logo on his jersey, right? In the player cam. So you're right. I don't know what Sad Jr. did, but Monkey Moon was on one in this series, the next one, and into the grand final. So we'll talk about that more here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Did Space Station have a good series in this lower round 2, Quilly, or do you think Vitality was just that good?
Space Station just isn't there yet on land. Zach still got his footing, but also Vitality is that good. But also Zen, when he's got hate in his heart, except for that one time he lost to Furia, is just another beast. That man with hate in his heart is just specifically against NA, specifically against Space Station Gaming. Like he's just fuel to the fire. It's just what Zen is. He just feeds off of it, and to the point where we saw literally the coach of the team telling them to talk shit. I.e. Zach saying, a 29-year-old grown man child telling his team to talk shit to a bunch of kids, and that they did. You literally saw him pointing.
Did you?
Eversax would point at them and then point directly at them to say, "Hey, talk shit to them."
Yeah, did you see Eversack's reply, by the way?
He said
Yeah,
that's
it was
not what I
something
was
like,
doing.
"That didn't happen."
Yeah, that's not that didn't happen. And Zach was immediately to say, like, I literally saw you say it. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, it was very visible, like what he was doing, and it's
Come
I
on
don't know,
now.
but like obviously it's SSG boys, they're known for their banter and their shit talk. But Zach has also said on Twitter, he said, "I keep it in game only. It's strictly in game. Like I'm not like feeding off of other people or having other people tell me what to do. Like it's like a 29-year-old grown man job." But I mean, I understand.
Yeah, that's
obviously,
why. Go ahead, go ahead.
it's just a little bit of a confusing thing because obviously he's still on stage with him, so obviously he wants to get involved and talk shit, but he's also not the one playing, so it's a little bit of a weird thing. It's a weird gray area. Also, they are still kids, but they're also on the professional level, so it's another weird gray area. Obviously, I assume if I was in the same situation, I'd fucking love to talk shit. And so honestly, I completely understand Eversax.
You grew up on the COD. You grew up on the COD lobbies, though. It's like
I was an MW2 kid back in the day, dude.
Yeah,
But so obviously, I would love to. I completely understand the Eversax approach of talking shit, but him denying it, like it's not literally on fucking camera. He's not on a stage surrounded by 50,000 people, being watched by 100,000 people. Like, and be fucking for real, dude.
Yeah. I mean, Zen was playing so well, he turned Exotic back from a pumpkin into a World's MVP player.
We're not going to go that far. We're not going to go that far.
I will say Exotic was playing pretty well. He was. Most of his goals were feeding off of Zen making some crazy play, but he did get some
that's why I said Zen turned him
which
back.
we'll talk about later. Yeah, he did not have a bad tournament.
But moving into our upper bracket quarterfinals, we have Carmine Corps making quick work of Gentle Mates 4-1. We also have Shopify Rebellion taking down Man City 4-1. Both of those teams moving into our semifinals, and then moving down into our lower bracket quarterfinals, we have Twisted Minds taking down Gentle Mates 4-2. And we have Vitality absolutely curb stomping Man City 4-0. So Carmine at this point seemed inevitable. Vatira was absolutely peaking. Atau was back to potentially top 5 player in the world. Atau. And Shopify looked like Shopify on Saturday. And they, Man City, they were able to take one game in playoffs, right? But they still made top 6 because of they topped the group, right? Like, people will be talking about energy so much differently if they made it to playoffs and got swept twice. Because you're still top 6, right? It's so important in this format to top your group. And even though Man City looked terrible on Saturday and Sunday, they still make it top 6.
Yeah. And it wasn't really like Gentlemates were playing bad against KC. In fact, that there wasn't a single game besides game 2 and 3 that weren't 1-goal matches. Like it's just that KC were peaking that much higher, and you'll see they carried this throughout the tournament. I mean, they just absolutely were peaking at the absolute moments that they needed to.
But talking about peaking, how about Monkey Moon and Gentle Mates in the lower quarters? Oof, what did you think?
Oh my god, man! You guys saw. I jumped him. I pulled a wavy, jumped into my bed. I was standing in a laundry basket for a minute. Monkey Moon was going absolutely bananas. I don't know. Again, I don't know what Sad Jr. says to him during timeouts.
What do you mean what Sad Jr. said to him? That was after they announced that it was going to be Boston, or that it was going to be Dallas again.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He did get the alert during during the Furious series that it was going to be in Dickies again. So maybe that fueled a little fire in his belt. But man, he was all we were starting to calling Mechanical Man the sidewall off the corner. What are we talking about, man?
Yeah.
That redirect corner was a thing of beauty.
I was like, who is this? Surely somebody is playing for Monkey Moon. What is happening?
Yeah. The only thing that I could say is that I can see negatively on this, TRK in the first game, super happy, super ecstatic. After that, though, he got, I don't know what happened, but this carried throughout the rest of it. He was so nervous. I mean, he was dropping 150-point games left and right. And I don't know if it's like just a mental thing at this point, where it's just playing with a new team, being back on the stage. But it definitely showed, for sure.
I also feel like we didn't really see anything from Nobu. I feel like there was nothing like notable or like memorable from his performance. This genuinely felt like the one-man Monkey Moon show, which is insane to say because everyone's
in the year of our Lord 2026.
Yeah, this is like allegedly his last season of his career, and like he's still like, does this reinvigorate him into coming back again, pre-retiring?
He's going out as a 3-time. I mean, I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you. What more I can say about that?
If he wins Worlds, he's not coming back. He will pack it, ship it, and go home.
But
I'm serious.
But moving forward into our semifinal matches, we have Twisted Minds taking down Shopify in Game 7, and we have Carmine Corps taking down Vitality in Game 7. These are probably two of the most entertaining series of the entire event. While Shopify did make it to 7, it kind of seemed like they scraped and clawed their way into a Game 7, right? Like, I definitely feel like, especially in Game 6, that they probably should not have won that one. Like, it just felt like they were scrambling all sorts of ways on defense, and Twisted just could not get anything to fall their way. Quilly, I know that you are the FK Shopify truther. What did you think about that series?
Against Twisted?
Yeah.
It was so confusing because obviously it started out horribly. It started out like, oh, we're getting usual first killer. They're down 2-0. It's like, this is the first killer we expected. We're in the shitter. It's about to be a sweep. It's gonna be impossible to fight the allegations. I don't even know. I think I'm gonna call out Sick Tuesday. I was already mentally like preparing in advance. I think if you watch the VOD back, like I'm just getting more. I'm literally just saying like, what's the fucking point? What's the point of living anymore? He's making me contemplate life. That's what it's like being a first killer supporter. But then they call the timeout. The Panda Man himself, Violent Panda, speaks some words of wisdom into the boys. They get an OT win. So it's like, all right, there's a pulse. And guess what? They lose Game 4. Now it's like, what the fuck? What do we do here? So it's like, 3-1. All right, LeBron. We got to go LeBron-esque. And then Game 5 comes around, Sovereign Heights. At which it's another. These are all, for the most part, did you ignore Game 2 and 4 or Game 2 and 4? These are all close games. They don't look the worst. But yeah, I mean, obviously 2 when they lost 6-1, like that has been so deflating. But by the time we got to Game 5, a 2-1 win, a close win. It's like a neck and neck. So it's like, all right, we're 3-2. They call a timeout. It's the gray area. Do they call it 3-2 or do they call it 3-3? But 3-2, they call a timeout. And then for, what was it, 4 minutes and 54 seconds of unscorable gameplay. First killer on Neo Tokyo pulls out the most insane angle corner of the field shot you have ever seen to put to rest the first killer on Neo Tokyo Demons. So you take, oh my god, we're getting a Game 7. This, might I add, is the first Game 7 of all of the playoff bracket. There has not been a Game 7 to this point.
Of the entire event.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first sets are only Game 5. So, like, all the playoffs, everything only goes to 6. It's either 6, 5, or sweep. There's nothing, no one goes to 7. So the fact that this is the first Game 7, you get a little bit of hype. They get smoked out 5-1. What the fuck? I guess beating the Neo Tokyo Demons is just like that's it. You know, he's like, all right, that's a placeholder right there. We've knocked one demon out.
Now we just
We're
have
good.
now we just have
I'm
the fraud
still
killer
losing
demons.
on Sunday. I'm still losing on Sunday. You cannot stop that. Yeah, they get smoked out rather easily. Game 7. It doesn't even look like a fight. You don't even know how they got back into the situation based off how Game 7 goes. It was just goal after goal off rip, and you just watch them just get deflated, and then they're still scoring late, and it's just them just sitting there just defeated, and it just sucks to watch. They get so damn close. I just felt like that whole fight back was for nothing as they went down, not only on their back, in the fetal position, tears running down their eyes.
And I think you're right to say earlier that Nobu they didn't really have anything notably on offense. Now, I will say on defense though, this man would miss the ball or lose a 50, disappear off the screen, right? And it just looks like a sure goal. First killer's just about to flick over TRK, and this is a sure goal. Here comes Nobu with no boost, somehow flying through the air, and I'm going to clear the ball into our corner. Just because. How his recovery, and obviously this comes from being a once player, his recovery speed is so ridiculous to be able to get back to the ball. And I think that is very important for his development as a threes player. To sometimes not have these offensive performances, pass the ball more. And I think he really learned that lesson a lot this split.
Yeah. Well, I will also circle back to it just so I can actually talk about the gameplay and act like or pretend like I did watch, or make it not seem like I pretended to watch. Game 1 and 2, at least Game 1 specifically, Shopify started out firing. Like, they were getting the craziest shots, the craziest things on net, and just Nobu being a part of it. Like, their rotations or whatever, like, just them throwing their cars at the ball and just absolutely stonewalling, literally shutting them out. Like, it's Shopify was getting great looks on net and great shots that, like, seemed like they were surefire goals, and just nothing was allowed in. Twisted Mind's defense was just insane. It was just, Shopify didn't score more than 2 goals in any of the games. 2 was their peak. Twisted Mind did 6 and 5 in 2 separate games. So obviously not a good recipe. The Twisted Mind defense is just like insane. It was unstoppable. So like if they can just like combine that with like the offensive prowess of TRK and Nobu, obviously Nobu being the ones main, and TRK just being one of the most creative players, the 3 most dangerous letters in Rocket League. He wasn't performing like it. He was the 3 softest letters in Rocket League this weekend. So if they can just get that offense going, like Monkey Moon, as we were saying, his mechs, that literally carried that offense. That was the only reason they had stuff going was because Monkey Moon was pulling out flip resets and stuff. That guy, his 4 wheels are pointing at the ground 24/7. The fact that he's pulling this shit out, it was what kept that offense churning and led to the Game 7 dominance. And it just sucks for them, the Shopify boys, to drag it back to so close, and just to fall short. Our NA's last hope, and it died with it.
And it's funny, like we've talked about this series a lot, right? But the KC Vitality series is almost identical. KC jumps out to a 2-0 lead. Vitality takes 3. KC wins 4. Vitality wins 5-6. KC blows them out in Game 7. Right? Almost the identical script. However, in this game, games 4, 5, and 6 were all OT games.
Yeah.
So
we get no Game 7s. Comes all the way to semifinals. We finally get 2 Game 7s, and they're absolute shitters. They're just 2 teams dominating 1 team. It sucked.
Yeah, it really did. The last thing I'll say about Twisted Minds in this round is if Monkey Moon plays like that. No, honestly, if Nobu plays the exact same and TRK is on one, they will walk through Worlds. Mark my words. They will just walk through Worlds. I think the only team that can compete with them offensively would be an in-shape Carmine Corp. which we'll talk about them in a minute.
Which they ran into in the grand finals as Carmine Corp is able to win the Paris Major, taking down Twisted Minds 4-1. Twisted is able to win Game 3, but are not able to do anything more than that, and fall short of a major championship. And it Carmine almost seemed inevitable at this point. Like there wasn't really much you were going to do. Vatira was playing like maybe the best player in the world, and Atao was playing phenomenally. And they were both playing that well, and I think Juicy had himself a series in this one, right? Juicy was scoring most of their goals. It just, a phenomenal showing from Carmine Corp as a whole.
Yeah, I think Atao got snubbed.
For MVP? Yeah,
I think for MVP. I think he got snubbed. I think they gave it to Vatira for the culture, but I don't think really Atao cares about accolades that much, so I think he's really just happy to be on such a powerful team such as KC. Only thing they need is a Worlds at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
So are we calling the semifinals Vitality Carmine Corp match the real finals? The real grand finals?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the hype and the pressure going into it, the crowd going as crazy as it was, and as stinky as it was, they were having a great time. And I think that one flew past KQ. Is that the other? That's actually the cool question today. How can we make France smell better?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Clean the river first.
I wish the Game 7s were better. Both of them were to be forgotten. But the fact that they but the journey to 7 was awesome for both teams, or for both series. I will say that part. That is the only place they're getting flowers. Both Game 7 sucked ass.
Yeah. But moving off of our playoff bracket, and moving into our prediction recap, the three of us on the show here, and I'll include Red in this, all of us got all the teams correct that moving out of groups, except for Group D. All of us had Furia out and R8 in, and that was not the case. Oof, you perfectly got Group A. You swapped. Group C was not correct, and Group B was not correct. You swapped Man City and NRG. Quilly, you perfectly got Group A. You swapped Man City and NRG, and you swapped Ninjas and Rebellion in Group C. Everything else, like we talked about. And then the same for me. I missed Group A, swapped Vitality and Carmine, swapped Man City and NRG, swapped Ninjas and Rebellion. So I mean, for the most part, a pretty good prediction run for all of us there. Quilly, you had three of the four semifinalists. You did not have Vitality. You did not have Twisted. But you had you had two of the four because you had Gentlemates in there. But that's not in our podcast bracket though. We only had one of the top four, and that's Twisted, and we had one of the grand finalists, which was also Twisted. But oof.
I think the fact that the group one, that we had Twisted finals and grand finals, I think that makes up for all of it. I think that's an insane poll. I don't even think Oof had Twisted finals in his bracket. That's how insane of a run we were on with just that team alone.
He had a Twisted top four losing to Mates.
Yeah. I did. I never thought in a million years we would beat Mates, especially in 6. I really didn't think we would be able to do that. But to be honest with you, Mates did not look that great this run. Like through the groups, they looked good, but after the going into the playoffs, after the close series with KC, they just looked off.
Yeah. Red had Vitality and Shopify. Those are his only top 4 correct predictions. And then for me, I had Carmine, Vitality, and then I missed out on. I had NRG, Gentlemates, so I missed 2. So for the most part, our playoff brackets were all a little bit. We're not amazing, but we all did pretty well in groups. So I think all in all, a good prediction effort from all of us here, and a lot to think about and a lot to look forward to for Worlds.
I will also say, just because Hedge is in chat, and it has not been mentioned because of the Shopify finishing, there was a bet. Was it Friday did I make it, or was it Saturday?
Saturday, because we were streaming.
Saturday, I made the bet with Hedge, the man of the mustache, the stashy man himself. One thick, luxurious mustache. I said if Shopify wins the whole event, obviously the team I had to get winning the whole thing, he has to shave his mustache, and he agreed. Obviously, it's so hard to be the one team that wins.
That's a terrible bet, though, because nothing happened if you lost.
But obviously, the odds of first killer winning a land next to none. But yes, it was a horrible bet on his end. But God damn it, he's sweating. Obviously, Shopify getting the huge win over over Man City, and then going to Shop. He was absolutely mean when Twisted went up 2-0. He was absolutely in chat just shitting on me and saying like how it was too easy, never a doubt. And then he's sitting there just appreciating my mustache because I'm not losing it. And then just slowly they just started etching back closer, and it brought it all the way to 7. It was cinema. It was almost awesome.
And then it wasn't.
Watching it.
Oh man, in Game 6
when grand finals, if they won that Game 7 and went to the grand finals, the pressure that he would have been feeling for a team that he's not, or like a game he's not playing, would have been insane.
Man, going into that Game 6, I was absolutely shaking. Do you know how many flashbacks of Neo Tokyo I've gotten? First Killer might have nightmares on Neo Tokyo. I have KC and NRG nightmares on Neo Tokyo, and also a little bit of Vitality in there. But it's just that map is not the greatest map for
the great equalizer.
Yeah, and especially for Falcons. Falcons tend to lose when they lose in a series they should win, and they tend to lose in 6, or they're supposed to win. Yeah, the Twisted Mind series where Napo 1v3'd the entire team with a double flip reset across the map to take the 1 seed. Like it's unfortunately happened one too many times, but they were able to get it done in Game 7. So I was happy to just see them in the grand finals, to be honest with you. I think there was a lot of talk, especially among the players, like Archie, were saying, "Oh, Mina's not that good. They're not as good as they seem."
He clarified that he was talking about R8. He said Johnny Boy had him power ranked in the top 8, and he's like, that seems a little bit high. They haven't done anything. He was talking about R8. He did tweet that. He said for all the people like saying I'm bashing Mina, they have to know I was talking about R8, right?
Okay, fair.
Because I saw the same thing and I was like, wait a minute.
The full video was there, the full quote. I feel like it was half and half. I feel like it started out as R8 and then it turned into Mina as a whole.
I agree.
I think that's how I felt about the quote, but obviously him starting out with R8, he gets to say what he meant. You know, we can't really tell him what he meant.
Yeah.
But from it sounded like he started out with R8 and then just turned into Mina's not that good. Because I think he also did say at the Boston Major. I don't know if it was Falcon.
That's what I remember.
I'm pretty because I think it was Seiko that said Falcons specifically aren't as good as everyone thinks. I think he said Mina isn't as good as everyone thinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which you could say what you want about Falcons. They didn't make the million. Can't really say anything about that. Just didn't play well enough. The cohesion isn't there, but they still had their 1 seed still makes grand finals and beats arguably one of the best teams in Europe in 6.
Yeah. I was gonna say the other counterpoint to it is it's any given Saturday, any given Sunday. It's whoever is playing better on the day. Because, like, if we're doing power rankings, are you taking Twisted Minds over Gentlemate still?
No.
If you're going roster for roster, it's hard to argue.
I mean, Furia beat NRG.
Yeah.
None of us even predicted Furia to make it out of group, so it's like
exactly
any given day.
It's any given day. So it's not indicative saying that Twisted is obviously the better team since they beat them. So maybe he isn't completely wrong in that, but he also did completely shit on Mina / R8 specifically. According to it's wow. It's just so funny seeing their quotes, especially how ballsy they are with what they say. Their quotes being brought back to them.
Yeah.
Give R8 a couple more lands. Give R8 like one more solid LAN at Worlds. I think they come out next season firing.
It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. But with that, is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention about the Paris Major before we run our Quilly question for the week?
I'm good. What an event. Obviously, France, I guess you guys are cool for lands. It would have been cool to be there. Maybe with nose plugs, but it would have been cool to be there. Sorry to keep circling back to it. It just seemed like the entire topic of discussion of everyone there. Not that the people, the arena smelled bad, but also just like France in general, Is this is this not the subject you're bringing up? Maybe, but guess what? Everyone on NA Twitter was talking about it.
Even the EU casters were talking about it.
Even the casters, the people that were hired by RLCS, was it Jorby?
Jorby tweeted, I think Stumpy tweeted.
They were like, please just use deodorant or something.
He's like, I'm on my knees begging for my fellow gamers to discover soap and deodorant.
That's pretty funny. So that's our only saving grace to say that we're still better than France. But,
you know what? I will say we are a better crowd than France because yes, they have chants, yes, they have flags, but guess what? We show up for whatever team. We don't care what team is on. We will show up to games. One thing I was very disappointed in, if KC or Vitality or Gentlemates weren't playing, nobody showed up.
Literally
those seats
Friday,
were empty.
Friday, the entire day, half the arena was empty.
Like, come on, guys.
Like, we may not sell out the arena, but the seats that do sell out, show the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think, and I know it's still a Friday, it's still a weekday, people got jobs and things like that, but, like, if you guys want to talk about LAN performances, we literally had a blizzard coming in Boston, and we were still at 90% capacity on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like,
Carmine Corp's not playing on Friday. We're not showing up. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Before we get canceled, what Quilly do you got a Quilly question for this week?
All right, Quilly question. We're loading it in the brain currently as we speak.
Is there a Pokemon update?
So as we were talking about the Quilly question,
alrighty, all right.
I haven't had a lot of time. Me and my girlfriend played a little bit more of Harry Potter. That's my my gameplay update of the week. We finished. We played Lego Harry Potter because it's 2-player. We beat the first movie. We're playing a little bit of the second one. So that's my video game update. I don't know. I have the Game Boy on hand. It has not been turned on. God damn it! I don't think it's been turned on since the first attempt with the Elite Four. Will it?
Fair.
That's something to find out later. But the Quilly question of the day: what is your favorite candle scent?
Christmas tree.
Like you like pine?
Yeah, like pine tree. Yeah.
Is there a difference from Christmas tree to pine?
I mean, you could have different
Like
types. Different types of pine trees for Christmas trees.
I was about to say.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Like, I don't know. If it's
the only reason. Yeah, the only reason I say that is I specifically, like, when it's Christmas time, I specifically look for those Christmas tree candles because around here, if you get the normal pine ones, they don't smell the exact same. You know what I mean? It's not exactly the same vibe that I want.
Fair. Mine, I like a teak wood. It's usually one of the ones that my wife gets a lot, and then anything that like has ocean or water in the name.
Ocean breeze, ocean Bahama breeze.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Mine is around Christmas time. It's sugar cookie. Always sugar cookie.
It's almost
it smells like I'm gonna get diabetes, but goddamn it, do I love it?
Yeah, some of the cheaper ones, like if you go to like Walmart or something like that and get like the $3 sugar cookie ones, those are way too sweet. I gotta pick and choose which sugar cookie I get.
Well, I strictly get my candles at what is it? Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, Bath and Body Works.
Whenever they have the three for,
yep.
Yeah, the 3-wick deals that they have going on, like what is it, 3 for, or is it 2 for $25 they usually do?
3 for $25.
That's the deal. 3 for $25. That's the deal. every time that's I'm always on top of that shit. It's either sugar cookie or they have like a chocolate fudge one.
Ooh.
I don't know why. It just does it to me. Does it for me.
No, do you like any of the like fall ones? They usually do like a Halloween drop or like a
I'm
apple
conflicted.
cider or like a sweater or whatever they call. I think
I hate
sweater
that.
weather.
I'm strictly a sweet guy. Like I love like the smell of like. I
And
don't wanna say
apples
sweet,
don't do it for you.
I hate red apples, so the
Oh.
smell of them piss me off.
Ah, fair.
I will say, random
Apple
side note.
pie candle.
I had a piece of corn yesterday. Every single obviously we cut the cobs and we cut the cobs into chunks. My cob, the one corn on the cob I took, smelled and tasted like red apple. It was the craziest phenomenon I ever experienced. I may have eaten mold. That's the only explanation. I literally handed it to my girlfriend. Because she was looking at me like I was mentally insane. I was like, no, just bite it. And she went, what the hell is this? And then she bit it, and it tasted like a red apple. And I still ate it, so that's the closest. That's actually the corn that tasted like an apple is the closest I've ever come to eating a red apple.
Fair.
Green apples, though.
That's crazy.
Secondary question.
Hold on.
Green apple. A favorite apple flavor.
Granny Smith.
Is that the yellow one? The yellowish green one?
That's the sour one. It's the sour one.
I don't know the technical names. I just like green.
I'm color deficient, so you can't do colors with me.
The green apple with the caramel suckers. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Like it's like
I know what he's talking about. Yeah.
You get them for Halloween. It's like a flat like lollipop, and it's like a green apple sucker, but it's coated in solidified caramel.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
It's like the ultimate push pop.
Yep. Oh man, what a time! But that's a fantastic question. We're well over an hour now, which is awesome. I'm sure there'll be a lot more that we have to talk about in the coming weeks. I'm sure there's going to be. We'll try and get some interviews done. We'll try and get. We'll certainly talk about Unreal Engine 6 some more. We'll certainly talk about what this means for all the teams. Either heading to Worlds or working their way through LCQ. I'm sure we're going to cover the OCE tiebreaker. But that is going to be a wrap for today. Huge thank you to Alyssa B and all of our other Patreon supporters for keeping the lights on. For those watching live on Twitch or listening later, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share the show, tell a friend. It all helps us level up, helps us improve the show. Want to join our community? Jump into our Discord, follow us on social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and LinkedIn. We're legit like that. If you want to rep the show, come grab some gear from our merch store at boostoverball.com. And thanks for listening. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, boostoverball.com.